the topic came to me, art imitates life. And I was like wondering, what is art imitates life? I wish I had seen Sridhar's presentation before to get more idea about it. But then I started doing the usual thing. I went on into the Google and then searched what is art imitates life. And the first thing I get is Oscar Wilde's quote. It says, life imitating art. Then I came across this image, a portrait of a lady dancing, and then I see the image also has this kid dancing, and I was wondering, and this is the image that came up, and say it's art imitates life. And then when I looked at the image and I said, it looks more like life imitating art for me. The girl is looking at the art and dancing. So then I started wondering, what is art imitating life? And then I just dwell into things. Okay, I'm looking at what that in life, that what I come across. So things what nature is offering. That's what called me further. And I looked at these cocoons, how they themselves, for them it's life, but for us it's art. So is the ant hills. It starts off as a small thing, and then they build big colonies, which is again a form of function for them. And then now we see people doing molten concrete, pouring them into make it into an art form. So that's also what opening up when I look into nature. And then I started dwelling more on people who are doing works on art, and then that is it, imitating life. And this is an artist in the Middle East. So he does calligraphy and graffiti together. So promoting a message. So we're sharing a hope and peace in the world. So, and this is another designer, product designer, Roslo Grove, and very inspiring designs. What I call the pleasing forms. The kind of an inspiration that these people get and how they take it. It's just not about inspiring from life and nature, but they goes back into understanding the process of it. And then I looked at, okay, who else is doing art? And then I came across Andy Warhol. Now he says, when I look at this art, it's like art for the sake of art. I don't know whether it means the profound meanings what we try to bring in when we look at that, but then it's just art on the face of it. So you also see, and this is so then I started wondering, okay, what do I have in my life? And then I started looking at what collection of things this is an example. It's a warehouse, a building and an industry, and then they turned this, an animated place into a beautiful art piece by adding music and lights, mood lighting. And then I started, these are my collections, all my pictures. I was just going by, and then I came across these beautiful pieces of art, which I think are, because I'm not getting to see what's inside. Most of the time you come across these walls and then doors, and this is the first thing that comes in contact with you. So I'm started admiring these little things on my travelings. Then this is one of the buildings by Zaha Hadid, and when I started experiencing it more than I even being awed by the form and all, I was actually enjoying these little landscape elements around it, how the building is unfolding onto the surrounding area. So I started when I started clicking these pictures and looking at it, I said I can actually play with them and make some compositions. So is this one. It's a skyscraper building. It's actually Petronas Towers. But I was trying to see, I can't really, engage myself in appreciating that scale of it. So I started taking it in small bits of, shots and then playing around with it, appreciating it from human level. These are the shots, again, on my travels, where in a span of 3 hours, unlike the other buildings, the super scale buildings, these buildings, not buildings, these huge mountains, pulled me, although they're so big, but there's so much for them to offer. And this is something that I experienced with a span of 3 hours, that shift. And coming back to something that I really like is also one of the art forms is just gazing at sky. And I was just going back to what Van Gogh probably would have envisioned in those days, and then what we see right now with the help of science today. Yes, I'm coming back to Salil, actually, who picked up. So yes, Pink Floyd has been a big inspiration. And so I started looking at, is there anything of what I'm doing that is influencing what I'm doing? So back in college days, this has been a big hang on to. And it's just not the music, it's also the visuals that comes along with it. So then I started, this is my 5th semester design in college 20 years back, and I started seeing how I can actually, I don't know, it's just an inspiration or probably just on the symbolic form, but there is still, I added some meanings to it in what I did within the design. Also, just then I started looking into my other projects, if there is anything that I could look at that is something coming from background, that is art, or in life. So these are some of the one of the campus design we're doing, where you can see an influence of a golden proportion or an involute, from the Fibonacci series, and then that helped us in arriving at some planning. And there's another house that I'm doing, which looks like a swastika. So just with redefining in understanding the house, so we kind of decentralized it and made it into 4 quadrants. Call it public, private, intimate, and service. So each one has it's a module with its own greenery. So this, I think it has come from somewhere in the subconscious mind of a swastika like that. Then coming back to towards the end, what I'd say that when you look at art, I think it is about what we experience, not just as a learned person, but even as a layman. So this is because this is an exhibit by a Russian artist. We're saying blankness and nothing also can be art. So I think I would like to say, what is art in life for me is nothing but aesthetical experiences, that what I can think of when I look back into my life, into the past. That's what I see as art. And so that is what you saw is a collection of all these things. So I come back to that image again, and then looked at it, if I can analyze it and then come up with another, and then I can also see it as looking at that little girl dancing, and that dance itself is an art. So in turn, what it means is it's a continuum of art imitating life and life imitating art. Yeah.